addition to celebrating the art, I want to invite you all to investigate the art, get to know the artists, and find out the healing properties behind this process of making art. In 2008, I was a homeless veteran holding a sign in San Diego. When they first gave me my diagnosis of post-traumatic stress disorder, which I had been living with for 30 years undiagnosed, they told me that I would be unemployable. They told me that it was permanent. They told me that it was complex, complicated, and individualized. But it kind of made sense. It was devastating for me to hear that I was unemployable. In that 30-year period, I was self-medicating. I was neglecting my family, my children, my wife. And I became addicted to several different substances. And I didn't realize at the time that I was using that as a mask to cover up the flashbacks I was having, to try to get rid of the nightmares I was having every single night. And so when the VA offered to give me a shoebox full of pills, I said, that's not going to work for me. First of all, I'm an addict. I'll abuse them eventually. And then I'll try to sell them. And then I'll go back to prison. And I didn't want that anymore. So my therapist said, okay, let's try something new. Let's try art. I said, art? I said, I'm not a very good artist. She said, that's not the point. So she literally brought a box of crayons and some construction paper to one of our first meetings. And I put my hand on the paper. It was right around November, and I made my little turkey. But it made me smile. I hadn't smiled in a long time. And things progressed. We did painting. We did ceramics. I built a mask. I started telling stories, another form of art. And now, today, I'm a communication professor at 5 different colleges in San Diego. I am employable. I have my family back. Now, to further prove that art for me works, I've had some challenges along the way. We all went through COVID together. But 2 years ago in May, my son passed away in a horrible accident. And the first thing I turned to was art. I helped that art get me through that grief. Like my PTSD, though, that type of grief is powerful. But I'm not going to ever let it take me back to the person I thought could handle my situations on my own, who thought had all the right answers, which were the wrong answers. So for me, that's the power of art in my story. And each and every veteran here has a powerful story to tell. And it starts with the expression of their art. Their art can tell part of that story. What is your call to action? What are you doing to help us spread the word and to advocate for art as a new healing modality? I'm sure the medications that come in a little yellow pill box serve their purpose for some veterans. But for some others, we need an alternative. And they should put art in a little yellow bottle with a cap and say, take this. Because if it can turn a 9-time felon, homeless veteran, into a college professor and a nationally recognized storyteller, it can do the same for each and every other veteran, not just us here, the ones we see out on the street holding a sign. I may ask you, what's your call to action? What are you doing? Because it takes a village. It took a village to get me here. And now you guys are part of my village. And I am forever grateful. That's why I come to these events, to tell my story, to hopefully inspire someone else that life isn't over after PTSD or TBIs or sexual trauma. It can continue.